Due Process, winner of 25 regional Emmy Awards, including the 2014 New York Emmys for our coverage of criminal justice and current affairs. Due Process is a presentation of Rutgers School of Law, Newark, and the Edward J. Blaustein School of Planning and Public Policy. Studio facilities provided by the Rutgers ITV Studio, Division of Continuing Studies.
You're certain he's innocent?
I'm absolutely certain he's innocent. Absolutely certain. The government has absolutely nothing on him.
Then why was Mohamedou Slahi tortured for years? And after 14 years, why is he still isolated and imprisoned? Collateral damage of the 9/11 panic? A victim of the war on terror? That's what his lawyers claim, along with a host of celebrities. But the U.S. government is unconvinced, and Slahi remains at Guantanamo. The how, the why, and what's next, right now, on Due Process.
Major funding for Due Process provided by the Fund for New Jersey, supporting informed citizens for an effective democracy. Additional funding from the New Jersey State Bar Foundation and the PSEG Foundation, making things better in our communities.
The Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. It still holds 116 men. Just a few have been prosecuted. Nearly half have been cleared for release. And according to the New York Times, to imprison each one each year costs more than $2.5 million. I'm Raymond Brown.
And I'm Sandra King, and on this edition of Due Process, the tortured tale of one of those prisoners who's been there for 13 years with no release in sight, and yet he's managed to get his story out.
Bring me to the court and I'll answer all of your questions, I would tell the team. There will be no court, they would answer.
The words belong to Mohamedou Slahi, the first inmate to write about the horrors of Guantanamo from the inside.
We cannot apply the conventional law to you.
But the reader is novelist Joshua Ferris, because Slahi is still isolated in Guantanamo.
I've done nothing against your country, have I? You're a part of a big conspiracy against the U.S., said Redacted.
It was in the name of that conspiracy that Slahi and so many like him were kidnapped, imprisoned, tortured since 9/11, whether they were actual terrorists or not. You're certain he's innocent?
I'm absolutely certain he's innocent. Absolutely certain. The government has absolutely nothing on him. And if you read his book, you see that the only information they received was when he said yes, when they tortured him.
That book began 10 years ago as Slahi's way to tell his story to his lawyers, and he just kept writing.
It comes in at about 122,000 words, 466 pages handwritten in English in this isolation cell over a period of 3 or 4 months.
Larry Seams is Slahi's editor. No one knows these pages better, but they've never met.
I don't know if people know this, but to this day, no writer or journalist or human rights advocate, not even the UN Special Rapporteur for Torture, has been able to visit and talk to Guantanamo detainees.
And yet, improbably, the chilling memoir did get published, and to critical acclaim, but only after a 6-year fight for the government's okay, which came with extensive redactions. 2,600 of the censor's black bars, which Seams and the publisher, Little Brown, elected to leave in.
These redactions are the last fingerprints of a massive censorship regime, and that censorship regime partly exists to cover up pretty serious crimes. Then you come face to face with the requirements of the Convention Against Torture and U.S. law against torture, because Mohammed was clearly tortured. Everybody admits that.
Still, even